another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is. Game, set, and match.
Hello and welcome to the 2024-25 APTA Tour. We're live from the Orchard Lake Country Club in Birmingham, Michigan, bringing you the Detroit Invitational Grand Prix, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corient. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: Bank Rifkin, DAG Partners, Lux Homes, Oakland Hill Men's and Ladies Paddle Ladders, Orchard Lake Thursday Night Guys, Oswald Company, Relax the Back, Viking, Marsh McLennan Agency, Jack McNaughton, Zimmer, Biomet. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Jeff Hodges, a.k.a. the legend Dr. Detroit.
The legend Mike Raleigh.
Bringing you the quarterfinal match between Morgan and Berens and Buiukian and Mihaljevic. We are lucky to have the doctor in the booth.
Well, I don't know how lucky you're going to be, but I'm glad to be here with you, Mike.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you there, Dr. Detroit, your hometown. Kind of, how long you've been involved in the paddle scene here in Detroit?
I haven't been involved the last few years, but before that, as you well know, probably 35, 40 years.
Yeah, that's a long run.
I'm pretty old.
Yeah. We like to say experienced.
Okay.
You know, if we talking, we've actually, I believe we have four, Doctor, we've got four teaching pros.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got Anna Buiukian. She's an assistant at Canoebrook with Drew Broderick. She played tennis at Southeast Oklahoma State.
Wow. She's
She's from Sochi, where the Olympics, they held the, what was that, the Winter Olympics?
That's great.
Yeah. And
Maybe
then,
you and I can get some tips.
maybe. And then Matea Mihaljevic, she's teaches at Millbrook Club. She played, she was a Ram. My son was at Colorado State University.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's great.
She's playing the ad side today. And then we've got Anna playing the deuce.
Okay.
On the other side, we've got Allison Morgan in the, she actually will be, she looks like she's getting ready to serve with Sydney Berens. Allison is co-director, rackets director at Birchwood Club in Highland Park, Illinois, with her husband, Adam Morgan.
Wow.
And then Sydney Berens is the head professional with Dane Schmidgall at the Evanston Golf Club.
So I just watched her husband play with Graham, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Learning. I think Graham was mic'd up for that one, and now Allison's she's got a hot mic out there.
Okay.
We'll be able to get some insights. Doctor, it'll be interesting to see. You know, I've seen Sydney and Allison play a fair amount in Chicago in tournaments, and their opponents have not yet seen them, but I'm looking forward to kind of getting to know their games.
Yeah. They look very competitive.
I've already seen the two-handed backhand in the middle of the court.
Yeah. I seem to remember that a little bit.
Who were you the originator of the two-hander? What do you think?
Well, I used to stand in really close
Yep.
over to the right in the backhand court to get my two-handed backhand and take it early.
Short hop it.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a good look there.
That was a good moment to
Anna.
try that. Too bad she missed it.
Mihaljevic came up with a big forehand drive there to get the volley error from Sydney Berens.
Wow. These women are so good.
So, Doctor, maybe you could talk a little bit about, I mean, you've been involved in the game since, what, early 80s? Is that correct?
I think since 1915.
1915, okay. To speak to how the game's changed and evolved, what are your
Well,
impressions?
the main, years ago when you and I were still in our prime playing, the main change that happened was they made the ball lighter and easier to take off the screen.
Okay.
There are so many great athletes who can get everything on these courts in this game these days. I kind of would like to see the ball go a little heavier because these are great athletes and can get almost anything anyway, and it would make it a little more interesting, I think.
Yep.
Well, it's a lovely day. Replay. Okay.
And I would say that would probably be a strategy here of Allison and Morgan and Sydney Berens, that, trying to test the screens. Because as we know, great tennis players that are coming into the game, the screens are a learned skill. And so that's the area I think I'd expect that they're going to be testing every opportunity, but throwing that ball into the screens and trying to make these tennis players uncomfortable.
Well, I think you're right. They're all the tennis players that come to paddle. When the ball is hit, their tendency is to go to where the ball was hit.
Right.
Instead of where the ball is going to end up.
Yep.
And once they learn that, then they're truly dangerous.
Because they bring all the athleticism and tennis skills.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that big forehand there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful forehand.
Buiukian.
Yeah. That reminded me of you a little bit, Mike.
Oh, man, except I would have missed it into the back screen there.
No way.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Buiukian is playing in the deuce side,
Okay.
and Mihaljevic is the ad side player. Got to give credit where credit is due.
It'll be interesting, as you say, to see how these tennis players play these screens, Because if they can learn the screens, they are trouble. Oh, good try. They're learning by the moment.
There we go. It's a pretty crisp forehand she just struck there.
Oh, boy. And Anna handled it fine. They seem to be concentrating on the, what's her name in the forehand, sorry? Back
That
here?
is Anna Buiukian.
Okay.
And Matea Mihaljevic is in the
They're trying to avoid Matea's forehand.
They're no dummies, right?
They look very smart to me. Yeah, Erica.
Allison Morgan there with the blue pants and blue hat.
Yeah.
Sydney's on the left, right-hand side of our screen. Sydney Berens. Some good pressure drives. Draws a volley error from Allison Morgan.
That two-handed backhand is quite good.
That was
There you
hammered,
go. Bingo.
Hammered. Speak of the devil, right? I tell you.
Doesn't happen often when you say something and then it happens.
And then you called it. You say something about me winning the lottery? Doctor?
I'm going to think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're giving this girl a workout. Good get.
What I really liked there from Allison Morgan was after she hit the drop shot, she covered it knowing that it was going to be, it was going to be gotten, if
Yep.
that's a word,
Yep.
and then played the ball back into the space, kind of scrambling the court here.
Yeah, that was a very good move. Good. That was excellent physical geometry.
Physical geometry, I like that.
Well, they're back to the forehand now. They were hitting to the backhand on a few shots, but then they went back to hitting it to the forehand.
When you see that we've had already the number of missed volleys from Berens and Morgan, I would anticipate that they start getting a little bit used to this pace and kind of clean up some of those volley errors.
These ground strokes are heavy, though.
Yeah.
They are heavy.
Boy, if every game goes that, we're going to be here till dark, Dr. Detroit.
You got a sleeping bag
lunch?
somewhere?
Did you pack a lunch? Pack a dinner?
Yeah. But in the old days, I know the paddles have become very, very light.
Right.
In the old days, and maybe this was true because of the slightly heavier ball, I personally used a paddle, Blue Thunder, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I remember
that. Was 17 ounces. And if I could get one that weighed that much today playing the sport, I'd still get it even with the lighter ball. Because not only on the volleys, but on the slash or other things, with that heavy racket, it seems to be able to have some magic in it.
Yeah. And I mean, when you were playing and when I kind of, we overlapped a little bit, but you talk about kind of how the game has developed into much more of what I'd call a physical game.
Yep.
With, everybody. And not just Dr. Detroit is the one hitting slashes, but everybody has that in their arsenal.
Yeah, but if the heavier ball came back, it would change things a little bit.
You think so?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. But at the same time, I also don't think they're going to do anything I suggest.
Yeah, yeah. But the points do tend to last a lot longer.
Yeah, and that there's something beautiful about that.
Right.
But the athletes are so good and so fast and so aware of where the ball's going to end up. I think they have to do something.
Well,
That might be making the ball a little heavier again. And they still get 99% of them.
Right. But you do see very few balls are ended into the corners.
Yep.
With the spins into the corners. Now a lot of those balls are ending, the shortcut drives.
It used to be on the slash. I could get it so low that it would be on the lower snowboards.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have a chance. But that has changed.
It's a nice transition there. Good drop shot
But
from
I
Allison
am
Morgan.
still amazed at how good all these women, all these men are. They're tremendously athletic, and they're also intelligent,
Yeah.
which is the main ingredient. This sport takes more intelligence than practically every other sport I know.
Well, they say it's the chess of racket sports,
Yep. Chess, paddle tennis is as is chess checkers, as they say. Oh, she wants that back, I'm sure.
Made a great first volley and left it. Should have left that one for Allison.
Yep. Now, this could be a long match, Mike.
Yeah.
The I formation here. that's a good return.
And that's something that Allison has made a career out of, is just kind of spotting
Taking it early,
her drive, takes
blocking
it
it.
early. Yep,
Before they even have a chance to get to where they want to come at net.
yep.
That's a great shot. Flip Goodspeed was always very good at that.
Another legend.
Yeah.
You hear Allison calling every ball.
Allison seems to be finding her rhythm.
Kind of settling in, right?
Yeah. I like this play.
And especially when Allison was able to find an angle that didn't quite exist. Nice hands there.
It's smart to make
Buiukian.
Allison have to do something a little different
Yep.
because she's so good at what she does.
And by going I formation, they're taking away or at least introducing some of that indecision.
They're making Allison think. That's right. And one thing I always talk about whenever I talk about tennis or paddle tennis is affecting the point before it begins.
And what do you mean by that?
I mean, just like what they did when they played I formation after Allison hit that winner.
Uh-huh.
They showed her that, and the point had not begun.
Okay. I like that.
You got a block. You got one. Two. Me. You. You.
That's a tough play. There you go.
See him go right back to work to Buiukian's corner.
Yep.
They've got to respect that two-hander in the center, keeping their overheads deep.
She's learning by the moment.
Yeah,
though.
that was a great dig.
Yep.
Wasn't fully committed to hitting that ball. She should have probably thrown it back up and
I completely agree with you.
Live to fight
Waited a
another
little bit
day.
longer. Yep.
second breaking point for Berens and Morgan.
You do realize we've only played one game so far.
Right, that's right. I mean,
Correction, 2 now.
it's 2. 30 minutes later.
A little strategy
Yeah,
discussion
let's
here.
see. Can we eavesdrop on this, sir?
That would be nice if we could.
Oh, maybe we'll. Oh, she's not mic'd up, then. Okay.
You got to love those easy points.
You see how they're up at the net, their scheme at the net. We can clearly see, when they hit the ball into Buiukian's corner and that deuce side, how far over they weight the left-hand side of the court.
Right. All sports to me is nothing but dance, and especially in paddle tennis, the dance that happens between two partners on the same side of the net, the way they move together, the best teams, it's like watching them do ballet together.
Yes, yeah, it's so true. And also it's not only this movement together, but it's the shots and how the shots are enhancing their positioning.
Yes.
So they're hitting balls that are they're putting balls in position that makes them stronger at the net rather than making them weaker.
Completely right, Mike. Those are the keys. Here they're doing it again, as you called it.
See him right there, make a strong shift back over to the left-hand side of the court.
They might want to attempt a drive by hitting the ball not that fast to the two-handed backhand.
Just dump it.
Just test her a little bit.
We see very few balls going to Mihaljevic's corner in that ad side, so it's a clear strategery here from Berens and Morgan.
A clear preference. There's the dance.
And another thing, kind of getting back to the modern game of platform tennis is, that transitional play is much more of a huge portion of the game now.
Well, I completely agree with you. That's because no one cares whether they're up at net or in the back.
And that, the liveliness of the ball lends itself to your earlier point.
Yeah. And they'd still probably get practically
everything I would
with
say.
a heavier ball. Oh, it's a good shot.
A great get. Not only a great get, but a heck of a little lob up over her head.
A nice short feel lob. That was great. That is a skill shot. Okay.
Is it 3 breaks in a row?
The tennis players are learning the game quickly. It's hypnotizing to watch some of these matches because they get into such a flow. And it's just amazing how one point, as we've all seen, can last for 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. And I think there was I don't know how many, 2-3 years ago, the longest recorded point on live stream was over 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it was here at
Do you
the
remember who
Detroit
played that?
Invitational. It was Rams, was it? And then the two brothers, there was some sibling rivalry across the net, right?
Oh, I think you're right about that. I hate it when you're right.
Yeah.
I hope your son Hank is still painting.
Oh, yeah. He's
good.
Shout out to Hank. I'm sure he's listening to us, Dr. Detroit.
Well, he is good, and I was one of the first to buy one of his paintings. I'm proud of that fact. It's a good return. Every tennis player who is playing on the tour does a version of the jump serve. As I did a different kind of jump serve in the past, but I would like to see. These are great tennis players.
Right,
I'm
right.
surprised they aren't using
A little bit more.
a little bit more of that, so they won't foot fault, but they'll be into the plane of the court
And they'll be accelerating a little bit more through the serve, right?
and getting themselves higher to have a better angle over the net and maybe hitting a little faster with more spin. They're such good tennis players. I imagine when they play tennis, they do that serve.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, I love that play from Morgan.
That's a great play. And a little block.
That off-speed little roll.
Yep.
Down at the feet and then the blitz in behind it.
It's a devastating shot. Sets up the whole point. Okay, now they're doing this again the other way.
Two bounces on top of the net, and it fell to the wrong side, if you ask Allison Morgan.
That's a tight net.
Yeah, we've got three missed returns all in the net. They probably want those back.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one.
Boy, that's a great overhead right through
That was
Allison
tough,
Morgan's
yeah.
position.
And it kind of, I think it creased a little bit. We used to call that when you hit the crease, I used to call it creasing one's reality.
Creasing one's reality.
Yep. Because things do get a little different when it hits the crease.
Yeah. And they say the good players intentionally hit for it.
That's what all the good players say. Whether they do it or not.
After they hit it.
After they
Yeah,
hit it.
I meant to do
Exactly
that.
right, Mike. Good get.
Wow.
Ooh.
Buiukian hit it. And one nice. She's got a very nice two-hander in the middle of the court there.
Yeah.
Takes a 3-1 lead.
And are we back live? Anyway, hitting the top of the net in tennis or this, when anybody's hit the top of the net and they win the point and they raise their hand in apology, no one has ever meant that apology.
You're right.
And I want to I want to change the rules of tennis and paddle tennis so that if you raise your hand in apology when you've won a point that way, that you end up losing the point. Get hypocrisy out of the sport.
We ought to make some bumper stickers or something. What do you think?
Have you ever been sorry when you hit the top of the net for a winner?
Oh, no. I usually give the sorry and along with a fist pump. You know, you like fist pump and then you throw in the sorry.
You're having the fist bump and then you're biting your fingers or something.
But this is an early on. This is a big game for Morgan and Berens.
Yep. Definitely, they're fighting for a little momentum return or momentum on the other side. One thing I do absolutely admire about all the paddle tennis players these days is their level of fitness. They're all fit, completely fit, and their endurance can go and go and go.
Well, and they, I think that it's the level of fitness, but it's also the level of the athleticism and the depth of the game. Now is, it's incredible that you've got these, deep in draws. There's no place to hide anymore. Where you used to be able to get away with, you'd win a couple warm-up matches before you got into the heart of the tournament, and they're ready to play from the first from the jump.
Yeah,
so
there's nothing easy anymore. Ooh, that was wide. Okay, I think we have an advertisement we might have to check out. One of our sponsors is Volley, and there is a 30-day free trial with Volley. What's stopping you? Get 30 friends together and dive into a full month of elite training, completely free. It's that easy. Ready to level up your game? Head over to getvolley.com/myclub and start your 30-day free trial today.
Have you gotten to see the Volley in action? Have you seen it, Doctor?
I haven't, but sounds amazing.
Oh, it is really. We've got it at Exmoor, and it's so well received. It gets used 2 to 3 hours a day.
Wow.
And it's truly, web-based. They can go to your phone, and it's an incredible tool.
It sounds like it is.
Not only for if you go practice just about any shot, but also as a teaching pro, the ability to use it within the structure of the lessons. It's
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope that in the future we're not going to see robots playing against each other.
Got Mihaljevic here serving in a 4-1 lead. If I were coaching Morgan and Berens here, I just would say this isn't a tactical issue. It's more of a execution. We're just seeing some uncharacteristic misses on the volleys. Oh.
Well, I'd say you're right there, but the only thing I would say also is that these ground strokes from the other team have a certain amount of heaviness that maybe Anna and her partner don't encounter all the time.
Yeah, that's. That little overroll from the chair there.
Get low. Block.
It's a good drive from Allison Morgan.
Good patience.
Very good patience.
Yep.
Sydney Berens working in that deuce corner.
Speaking of fitness and all that, I used to always think that every time I saw a great player in this sport, woman or man, that they looked like they were hardly breathing out there because they knew where every ball was going and they were waiting for it. They were there already. And the players that had a future ability to be good were anxious. It is body language. The best players look like, wow, this is just another walk in the park for me.
Yeah. great overhead.
That was a tough one. That got the crease a bit.
There it was.
Yeah. She just missed it.
Just missed.
Just missed it.
Yeah, and to the point you brought up, I mean, that's a big drive, so, it's not necessarily an unforced error on these volleys.
It looks to me like there's a lot of heaviness behind the two-handed backhand on forehand and the forehand on the backhand.
Who's on first?
That's your job.
Just, there's another, I mean, big backcourt drive.
Who's on first? That was a good one, Mike. Oh, that little poach didn't seem to fool them at all.
No.
Ooh. If I were the coach
Yeah?
of the girl who has the great two-handed backhand,
Okay.
I would say be ready on the overheads the other team is hitting to move in 2 steps and catch it on the rise and drive it.
So for Buiukian, she's in the deuce side there, in the all black, in the
Right.
backcourt on the left of her screen.
Yeah, I would like to see her get ready, move in. If it's not there for her, she can take it off the screen. But like right now, if it were hit to her, she could move in and take it. Even that one.
Yeah. So kind of shrink the court a little bit.
Yeah. And it takes them a little bit of time to get back to the net. Oh, there you go.
Well, a little
Oh,
luck
come
of the
on.
Irish.
You're not sorry.
Get a replay of the sorry, Cal. Let's see if we can. There it is.
I hate to admit this, but when I'm playing tennis or paddle and I hit shots like that, I celebrate it
There you
every
go.
time. I went, yes. I apologize for celebrating. That's a great two-hander. Oh, another.
She
Look
said,
at
I'll
that.
see your two-hander and raise you a two-hander.
Hey, take this. Nice shot.
Yeah, this is a big game for Berens Morgan here. To be able to fight off 2 break points potentially and win this game, kind of steal it.
I think you're absolutely right. You don't see a lot of charging the team in the backcourt
With the
on
blitz.
overheads.
Uh-huh.
We used to see that quite a bit from certain players.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Flip Goodspeed was very good at sneaking
It is timely,
in.
timely
He's
little
a
sneak
sneaky
in.
little guy
Yeah.
anyway. Love you, Flip. Just kidding, buddy.
Yeah, it was funny. In one of our drills this week, we were just working, ladies' drill, working on the defense of how to defend when an opponent is blitzing in the backcourt, into your taking the overhead out of the air. And
Yep.
it really is it done as a partnership that, if you and I are playing and I'm hitting the overhead, you've got your eyes forward looking for that
Yeah.
and warning. So then I can change my overhead, and I just generally say take it and hit it firm, generally at the blitzer, and let them know that you're not going to allow that free charge in.
But that is exactly right. But your partner better know to keep their eyes forward.
That's
and I have to admit, being guilty of not doing that at certain moments. But that's the way to play it. And then if you're hitting the overhead, you got to whack it.
Yep. We got Buiukian serving here, 4 serving 3. It's a great first volley, Cal. Good call here. Love it how she frames that backhand volley off her hip.
Chicken wing volley.
The chicken wing. Surprised they're not going I formation on Allison. They want to make sure that they force her to change her directionally where she's hitting that return.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they should, because the serve is not that strong.
I think that's a choice, right? Buiukian is, I'm going to make the volley rather than try to maybe go for more off the serve. But to your earlier point, there's no reason, I'm sure, that it's
They're
not
doing
an ability.
what you thought.
It's a little bit of, it's not quite patient enough. Love to see 1 to 2 more lobs out of that corner.
And as you have pointed out a couple times already, this is a big game. I understand why she tried that, but I still think it was a bit of a rush. This is a huge point.
Yeah.
Nice reach.
Technically speaking, you look at the technique on their overheads, doing a great job of letting the ball drop.
Yep.
Hitting that overhead more to the side of the head.
Little
They're
bit of a
controlling
cut.
their length
Yep.
through the court.
Yes, I agree. That's an excellent way to hit that overhead.
And then, you look at as well, you're looking at, I think looping back to how the game has changed, that rolling topspin overhead, where they're hitting it kind of, that isn't a shot that we saw a lot.
It became, I swear to God, I think that Manziger and Goodspeed started a lot of that.
Did they?
At least that's my memory.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could be wrong about that, but it's become almost a fad as far as I'm concerned.
A fad.
Yeah, because I would still like to see the overhead you were talking about, the cut.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to see more slashes the other way instead of the huge overspin hit. It can be very effective, but for me it's a bit boring.
No, it's amazing how their range on that shot. I mean, how far back they can hit it. And they're hitting it, from behind the service line a lot of times.
Yeah. Okay. Good, smart shot.
Boy, some really good defensive overheads there.
Absolutely.
Not giving Buiukian and Mihaljevic anything to work with. Almost baiting them to see if they want to try to drive one of those balls.
Yeah.
They're showing great discipline.
There you go. Good cover. Was that out? I couldn't
That
tell.
was long. Yes,
Okay.
it was. We're at 30 all here.
Okay.
Allison Morgan serving to stay in this first set.
Seems like every game is a huge game here. Boom. Ooh, that's a tough one.
We had a front row seat for that crease, didn't we?
Right into our living room, Mike.
Speaking of the dance, that was a great view of how well the Berens and Morgan are moving at the net.
Oh, yeah, that's a great example of it. Good get.
Boy, oh boy, that was a very important game for Morgan and Berens.
I like that attempted charge on her partner's return. Mary Doughton and Susie Keene used to have that down. Susie could whack any serve that was ever hit her in women's battle, and Mary would just follow it into the service line and put it away, and they won
Play cleanup.
6 national championships doing that.
Did they win 6 in a row?
I don't know if 6 in a row. I mean,
6 in a
Susie
row,
used
yeah.
to call me after the quarterfinals. I said, "Oh, we won, and now we're playing." I said, "Don't forget one thing. No matter who serves to you, whack your forehand as hard as you can."
Yeah, she had some talent.
Because, I mean, I used to play against Susie in Detroit 3 times
Okay,
a week, so
yeah.
she'd be returning against my serve
So
when it was actually in its prime.
There was no other serve with that much spin or.
Well, you
yeah.
know, and she would occasionally whack mine, so if she could get mine,
Yeah.
she could get almost anything.
All right, Mihaljevic here to serve for the first set.
on, get in play.
Love to see Sid. I like her hitting that. She's got to move a little bit more on the diagonal forward.
Yep.
She got caught on the lateral.
You're right.
move
The
and it-
footwork wasn't quite there.
You. Two. You. You.
Good get.
You. Two. You block. Two.
Boy, we see the almost the mirror image strategy,
Yeah.
where they're both teams are working the deuce side player predominantly.
Yep.
You. Two, get really low. You. Block. You. You. Two, back up. Block. You. You. Corner.
Way to talk. Oh,
Wow, that was
was that
impressive.
good? Was that good, Mike?
That was good.
That was a good shot.
I mean, that whole point, she
Wow.
covers for Sydney in the corner when it hits the crease. She's giving her a screen lesson, telling her whether it's one or two screens to
Yep.
block the ball, to
Yep.
get lower.
That was well earned.
She's giving a lesson. That was
That's a good return.
better movement on that
Yep.
return.
Absolutely. You're right. She moved to the ball there.
One. You.
A little bit of a chance. Taking. How long have Mihaljevic and Buiukian, what I don't now know how to pronounce that name. How long have they been on the tour?
That's a great question. I think this might be their second year, but I'm not sure. This is the first time I've gotten to see him play.
Oh, look, they switched sides. Did you notice that? In the backcourt. This is a point.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a great drive, very well placed, well timed. Brings us to our first set point here.
Now, double set point there.
You. Good? Yep. You. Two. Get low. You.
Oh, good shot.
Boy, Doctor, I'm really impressed with Buiukian and Mihaljevic and their ability to. They're lobbing really well.
I think we're witnessing a team that's going to be a force nationally. Finding their feet, so to speak. Good get. Great point.
Boy, what a point.
That was a great point.
You know, and I was just about to say that Mihaljevic is, she drove the ball and then threw in another lob. Very smart play.
Yeah.
And then it was followed up with probably a decision she would want to take back that drive that she missed in the net. But I really like the way that they're playing disciplined paddle, lobbing very well. And
excellent.
You know, drawing a lot of errors on the volleys off of their timed and well-timed drives.
Besides the backcourt patience that is needed in this game, there's also just as much patience needed when you're up at net.
Yeah, and that is first set.
Okay. Do we read something? Or?
Yeah, we'll be right back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CSM Media.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
And welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Detroit Invitational in Birmingham, Michigan. The women's quarterfinal match between Buiukian, Mihaljevic, and Berens and Morgan. Buiukian and Mihaljevic won the first set 6-4. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Dr. Detroit, Jeff Hodges.
Now, how come you and I never played a tournament together?
You know, I didn't get the invite. I wasn't good enough to,
Wait a second. I didn't get the invite. I wasn't good enough.
A man of your talents. I was just a lowly
Wow.
25-year-old trying to learn this game.
I don't think that was exactly it. I think you probably thought this guy's a little too old and on his way out.
Oh, man, no. The things he could have taught me. I learned a lot playing against you. I couldn't imagine. That would have
You
been
learned a
very
lot
special.
playing against anybody.
Well, what do you think the keys here, Doctor, as we move into the start of the second set for Berens and Morgan to kind of right the ship, so to speak? What would you?
No, I completely agree. As much patience as they've shown, I think they have to show even more patience.
Yeah.
And I think they maybe need to tease the other team into going for some drives, maybe not hit all their overheads quite as deep. It's a very tough equation here.
Yeah.
Because the other team is playing very well.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and I would say if they tighten up and work the making sure that they're mindful of their P's and Q's when they're volleying. Seems to me we've missed a couple volleys where they weren't stable or where they were a little flat-footed.
It's tough volleying up there with the kind of speed.
Yeah. So so I also think that it's funny. Dane Schmidgall, he works with Sydney at the Evanston Golf Club. He just happened to text me and he said he'd love to see Sydney work her lob down the line, out of that deuce side, forcing the play to swing into Allison's corner, into Morgan's corner, and I think that's a great point as well.
No, that'd be good geometry for them.
That's right. She's using that lob to kind of work the court and force them to hit the ball to certain specific spots. But Buiukian and Mihaljevic, I mean, they played a really good, well-balanced, very, very patient.
It looks to me like either one of these teams could play with any team in the nation.
Yeah, I'd agree. But I can say that, we definitely are looking at the experience of Morgan and Berens on this side of the net. Sydney's in the dark with the white stripe down the pants, and Allison Morgan's in the gray hoodie there.
Mm-hmm.
And the all-black hitting the two-hander back in that deuce side on the far left. It's Anya Buiukian.
I still would like to see her move in and take it on the rise sometime. There'll be a little bit of a chance taking, but she's got such a good two-handed backhand. All she'd have to do is shorten it up and whack it.
And what does that give her? She's taking away time from the volleyers?
Yeah, taking away. As you know, in any sport, if you can take away time from your opponent, you're probably winning.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good angle, too.
Get in. Go, 2.
That was a tough shot off the screen. She missed that, but I think she's smart to go for it.
That absolutely was the right shot, right?
That serve doesn't seem to have a lot on it.
Oh, what a get.
And thank you, no apologies.
Yeah, was there no apology there, Dr. Detroit? They did not say sorry.
And I can't wait till in tennis they put in the no-let rule on the serve also.
You think that is coming down the pike?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no difference when you're playing a point and you hit the top of the net. They don't stop it and say take two. It would make for some very interesting moments.
Because they took that out of the college game. That's already
Did they?
out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Why did they do that?
Well, I think for a number of reasons, but I have heard that people would call it like they'd get ace and they'd say let, when it wasn't even close.
They need to have some kind of machine to tell the truth there. But they have that machine in tennis.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they don't have it in college tennis. I thought it was a brilliant move in paddle when they made it a no-let rule on the serve.
Yeah, Brad Easterbrook and I were talking about the first year they made that change. Yeah. I think in the finals of the women's, they had match point, let ace to end the match.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And can you imagine Pete Sampras in the finals of Wimbledon? He hits his hardest serve, and he hits the top of the net and goes up 30 feet straight up in the air. And so his opponent can casually come in and kill it with an overhead.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
It'd be a lot of drama.
I believe in occasional change of rules that makes for interesting moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's a great play
Good
from
shot.
Morgan.
very good movement there.
And the more that Morgan is able to kind of play field general
Yeah.
and dictate the play in the backcourt, I think the better serve that Berens and Morgan will be. You know, that when she's able to start kind of directing
Yeah,
the play,
they seem to go up like that. Yeah, it seems like Anna and Sydney have decided to force the play a little more.
you mean Allison,
sorry.
Allison Morgan.
Allison,
It's Anya and Mateo on our side.
I'm getting old, you know.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll let it slide.
This made me my last job. Yeah. That seems to be a play that might work.
Did you see that was all set up by Sydney Berens lob down the line?
Yep. You couldn't be more right on that.
Good point.
That was a great point. Yeah, they're forcing the issue a bit here.
Seemed to have settled in a little bit better. And,
Yeah. You and I might have to settle in here.
yeah, I think this could be a long one if this lead continues.
Oh,
Yeah, there's very few ways to win the point in the backcourt, and that is one of them, hitting the crease. And
that's a good way.
did you notice there, too, how their volleys, even though they were being attacked by, they volleyed right back in front of them, so they never had to change their position at the net. So they're kind of building that wall, but they were keeping the ball in front of the defense.
Yeah.
So it never had to change, and that's a great lesson for anybody watching at home.
That's a good key. The wheel keeps on turning here.
It does. It's one of the wonderful things of this game is how those, little adjustments, little changes, or changes in momentum.
in this particular sport, the changes of momentum that I've witnessed over the years is bigger than any other sport.
I think you're right.
If you and I were playing and we were ahead 6-love, 5-love, 40-love, we better get that next point.
Right.
You know? Oh. Oh.
But if you're going to lose a point, it's like, okay, well, that's the type of point we want to lose, right? They hit an absolute perfect. They play a very patient point, and they thread the needle with a great drive.
Yep.
So applaud that and move on.
Next point. That's
Yeah.
right. Nothing you can do about that.
I like how much more deliberate they're being with their volleys. A little bit, stepping, moving to the ball, and making sure they're balanced when they're volleying. Their control has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, they seem to be playing with some confidence. Ooh, got it. Oh. God. Exciting moment there.
And then you shift right back into the hold steady here.
Get there.
Sometimes you just let the play, speak itself, right? I mean,
Absolutely. The word that is capturing my mind now is willpower.
yeah. And we just see Berens there take a 3-love lead in this set.
I have to imagine that playing paddle tennis and being patient and knowing angles and all that translates into the rest of your life. I don't know exactly how, but translates into the rest of your life in a good way.
Well, they say if you play tennis that I don't remember what the years, but you had like 10 years to your life, something like that.
I believe that. And this is playing this chess match probably adds decades to your not getting Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm. Well, they say you need to socialize, exercise.
Boy, this has it all, doesn't
and then challenge your brain, and we're doing it all here. So this is like a public service announcement here for the brought to you
Good
by
call,
the
Mike.
APTA.
Good call. Brought to you by Mike Raleigh. Did your dad play paddle tennis?
brief, and not at any. He's played, but nothing. He hadn't played that much, so he knew the game, but he dabbled in it, I guess.
Okay, I formation.
I'm good. No wide. Let's go.
It's a little wide, I guess, huh?
Yep.
You block. Okay, here we go. You get in. You go. I'm good.
Batty.
You.
I'm not sure what that means.
You.
Great volley.
Yep, nice volley there.
We got them switched in the backcourt. See if they throw up a lob and make the switch back there. Get back to their respective corners or not. It's a slightly different look for the team at the net from.
Yep. Good lob there.
Boy,
Down the line.
Mihaljevic is doing a great job, even though she's playing over on the deuce corner right now. She, too, has that two-hander in the center. Well-placed drive, draws a volley error.
Yep. At this point, we'll put him on the board. There it is.
Good hold from Mihaljevic there. It's 3-1 Morgan. If you're just joining us, we're at the Detroit Invitational Grand Prix, Orchard Lake Country Club. Jeff Hodges and Mike Raleigh here. Allison Morgan, Sydney Berens are up 3-1 in the second set after losing the first set to Buiukian and Mihaljevic 6-4. Allison Morgan serving.
New ball.
All right, here we go. Got it.
see that sometimes, especially with the colder weather. They bring out the ball that's warm. It's got a little more bounce to it, and they tend to miss it long sometimes.
I think you're absolutely correct on that. Boy, that's a good volley on a tough return from the ad court. Oh, good try. Nice shot.
You know, and one of the golden rules of when you're driving at them or between them, never around them. We just saw it there.
Yep.
That confusion zone between the two players. Great cover from Berens.
Yeah.
Come back. Two. Get in. One. I'm good. You. You.
Takes a triple break point here.
Very smart to slow things down for a second.
And I think there, if we've got Buiukian blitzing in behind Mihaljevic's serve, she might want to have that kind of as a planned blitz rather than so Mihaljevic can then drive that ball cross court, knowing that Buiukian was coming in behind the return. Wow.
That was a heck of a return.
And just like that, we're back 2-3. We got a second set here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we want to read a little thing about Corient. If I can find it. There we go. You got it there? Okay, I got it. Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA.
Up 30 love here. Love 30 for Berens and Morgan. This is a big game for both teams. They're all big, but
Yep. That was interesting. They did not come to net on the serve.
yeah, they're doing a pretty good job of kind of mixing in formations as well as it's serve and stay back, serve and volley, partner poach. And they're really trying to not let the returning team get comfortable and they're trying to keep them kind of a little bit out of their groove.
Making them think.
Yeah. And what was the phrase you said earlier about
Affecting the point
Before
before
it
the point
starts.
begins. Oh,
very well done there?
very nice forehand.
You know, I think Berens there, she, in retrospect, might choose to just give up the net rather than trying to make a volley from that far off the net on that short of an overhead. She could have let it go through, let it go to the back screen. And
Yeah, I think you're right there because she was kind of caught in the moment of trying to get back to the net. All four women here are indomitable. They are just so tough. No one is really giving away anything, you know? It's impressive.
yeah, very impressive.
Wow.
Some great hands up there from Mihaljevic to make that volley. And
So this is point for 3-all.
point
No,
for
no, this
4-2.
break point.
Yeah.
Break point.
You know, Doctor, you had said something earlier about the better players looking as if they never, you know, they're not even trying. That's a great overhead from Allison Morgan.
Yeah, that was a great out.
You know, that they don't sweat either when they're hitting these big drives and the drives are coming. There's no panic. They're just real quiet with the hands, making the volley,
Yep.
and the point continues. And it's a great lesson that there's very little of that kind of panic, helter-skelter, whatever you want to, even in high-stress situations like staring down
All
the barrel
four
of that
women
big
are
two-hander.
completely calmed to me. You know?
It's a great spot from Buiukian.
That is a great point, Mike. They all look so relaxed, like they're in their own sandbox they're in playing. You know? Nice slash. Wow. Back and forth. Oh. Just a moment of miscommunication, which we hardly ever
Right.
see from them. Very smart to take a little breather and talk at that moment.
I agree. You know, it's a huge, big, we've been saying that, big game, but looks to me like there's a little bit of change that Buiukian's hitting that, taking that two-hander and just tattooing it down the line.
I think changes in the area are correct. Nice chicken wing volley. Ooh, ooh, baby.
That's something new. I've not seen Allison Morgan pull out the cutter. I love it.
That was a
Love
beautiful shot.
All right, now we'll see. I want to see him give him throw in a little different formation here for Berens and Morgan on this serve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the chess match that we play. Oh.
Is it possible to see a replay from 2 points ago, that little cut shot? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. That was beautiful. I'd like to see it again, but that's okay.
I love how Allison's bringing that and Morgan's bringing that into her game. That is,
She
I've seen her
obviously
play.
can do that.
Yeah, I've seen her play in a number of times, and that's the first I've seen of it. So I love it.
I did too. Corian. Okay. Do I read? Did I miss it? Okay. I'm a rookie.
You're doing great. Doing great. This is awesome to have the legend, Dr. Detroit, on the mic with us today.
And listen, I got that $50 bill you wanted, okay?
Every time I say legend, does it go up or is it just 50, no matter how many times
Oh,
I say
now
it?
you're renegotiating.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. I get it.
Corner. You. Block. Block. You.
Shout out to Betsy Brace, Blum, one of our members who's watching Sydney, one of her pros play. She just texted me saying she loved the idea of it, this being a chess match, that,
Yep.
you know, they're constantly moving those pieces around the board, changing strategy based on the situation.
You. Get low. Really low. You got it. Block. Okay, one. Block. I'm good. Me.
That's a good return.
Very good.
Way to catch it early.
You know, the biggest thing that you just brought up with it, catching that ball early, it takes away time and distance from the opponent's reaction. You know, they don't have the ability to close further or to react sooner because you're taking that ball that much, it's on them, back on them.
Yep. And not as much time to think.
Yes.
And in tennis, the players that seem to be most successful these days are not giving up the baseline too much. Mm-hmm. In fact, a lot of the better players are moving inside the baseline and catching it on the rise sometimes, but just forcing the issue about time. Oh,
No, let's go. That's one.
wow.
But I love the positive talk here from Allison Morgan. It's almost Jimmy Connors-esque, saying one more point, one more point.
Oh, my goodness.
Takes us to triple set point here for Allison Morgan.
Wow.
And
there you go.
that is the second set for Morgan and Berens. We will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel, presented by CSM Media. Back-to-back 1-and-1s.
The sun's going to go down.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Detroit Invitational in Birmingham, Michigan. This women's quarterfinal round match between Buiukian and Mihaljevic and Berens and Morgan. We are locked at set apiece. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Dr. Detroit.
Hello, world. What are they doing?
Might be taking a quick break here for the umpire.
Yeah.
This is always a precarious, I almost don't like to watch it just in case something would go bad.
You definitely need someone watching out for you.
Can a spotter, please? Can I get a spotter here?
I noticed the umpire chair has a seatbelt, which is a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, because you are up, they're up 8 to 12 feet on top of those screens at 12 feet, so they're up there. Well, Doctor, that was it's been a pretty good 2 sets so far, wouldn't you say?
These women are so impressive. They're so smart. They are so athletic. And it's a treat to watch them play. But I have no idea who's going to win this third set. No idea.
I think it might come down to the experience of Allison Morgan they've seemed to settle in a little bit better.
Yeah.
Where they miss fewer volleys. of not the, I think the volleys, when you look at it, are the volleys a forced error. They've missed some of those, but they're making the majority of the volleys that they should.
Yep.
And I think that was one of the big differences there in that second set.
The more experienced team, these experienced teams, after they lose a set, are very dangerous. It's like, being out in the desert and picking up a rock and there's a snake waiting to get you. These experienced teams are never going to just say, go ahead.
Take it. Yeah.
They're going to put up a stop sign.
They're going to make them earn it. And,
and they did a beautiful job of that.
Yeah, and I always say that's like a phrase that I'll use a lot is, all right, I just want you to tighten things up.
Yep.
And really meaning there, when I say tight, I just mean let's limit some of the damages, self-inflicted damage that we're doing, whether it's decision-making or the ability to execute, the relatively easy shots is kind of key.
I would probably tell Mihaljevic team to be even more aggressive on the service return. I would like to see them stand, as I said before, affect the point before the point begins. Mm-hmm. I would want them to stand in closer and let the server see that before the server serves.
That's a great point. I mean, we saw late in that second set when Buiukian was stepping in and taking that two-hander right down the line at Morgan. She won, both points there. She spotted the drive well, but she took it early.
Yeah.
And really, there's no place to go for Morgan with that volley.
Obviously their ground strokes are very heavy to begin with, and if you're coming in a net and you don't have as much time to do so, and that person is standing closer, at least that's what I would coach, as a coach would say. Use your strength here. Mm-hmm. Let's threaten them. If it doesn't work to begin with, you can obviously change your strategy.
I think, you get into, and like you said, the strategy and the ability to change a strategy. Guy Moore, who's one of our, men in the booth, he always said that, or he always says that if you don't have a plan, you can't ever determine whether, you can't make changes because you don't know whether.
That's
with
a
no
good
plan,
point.
With no plan, you can't ever make a change. How do you change a non-plan? Not making much sense there. Guy is much more eloquent than I am in his discussion of plans. But I think that we see both teams here. Their plan has clearly been to play the ball in and out of the deuce corner.
Yep.
And every once in a while throwing balls into that ad side. And I think the counter to that is to make sure that whoever is in the deuce corner is lobbing more down the line to affect the play coming out of.
That's always a good strategy.
Yeah.
Always a good strategy. But as Mike Tyson has said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
That's so true.
Very bad.
Here they go, getting back up in that chair to start the third set. If you're just joining us, we're start of the third set of the quarterfinal women's quarters here at the Detroit Invitational, Orchard Lake Country Club. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Detroit. Players have taken the court now. We're going to begin the third set. Allison Morgan to start the third set here. Oh, after some discussion. There she is. She's up to all her tricks. She's trying to steal the serve. That Allison Morgan. It's on a Buiukian to serve. Her partner, Mihaljevic. Allison Morgan in the Navy cap. And her partner, Sydney Berens, in the deuce side there. See that different formation, going I formation, and then Buiukian serving and staying back.
All four minds seem to be working.
And you always like to have a great start.
She moved forward.
You see that that threat of that blitz was.
Yep, she whacked it.
See Buiukian looking up, makes that volley tougher.
Look at this. Yeah, getting aggressive.
Boy, two really good overheads. A heck of a first game there.
That was a great first game for them.
Berens and Morgan, and like you had said, you would like to see Buiukian and Mihaljevic really work on them stepping forward. And
not only do I want them to step forward, I want them to be forward in the court before the server hits it. I want the server to see that they have changed their position.
So you're kind of sending a not so subtle message.
A direct message. I mean, long ago when I played the back end and I stood over the right to try to hit my two-handed back end, I was standing in close, even on the hard serves, because if they do get it by you, you can probably take it off the screen. See, they didn't do that there.
That was not a full commitment to either the return nor the secondary drive there.
Morgan and Berens have decided to be aggressive.
And what I really like, and kudos to Berens and Morgan, is that the average player sometimes, if they maybe they don't have their A game to start the match, right? A lot of times you'll hear them say, "Oh, I just don't have it today." Where Morgan and Berens, they're finding a way to get into this match, and lo and behold, now they're firing, on all cylinders.
You are, Mike. Right, you are.
And it's a great lesson that you may not always have your A game.
Yeah.
But the greats find ways to win.
Ooh.
There's that second cutter. Oh, well played. And there's a lot of lessons here, but what I really liked about that was, too, you'll see here in the replay, she hits I love the cutter, first and foremost, but the drop draws the player in, and where did Allison take that ball? She took it right
at her.
Back at her.
Good get.
Wow.
You know what's happening here? The old adage. Wait, they can't hear me now, right? Yeah. The old adage, fortune favors the bold.
Right.
That's what's happening. Berens and Morgan are being bold. And I assume they will stand in closer to return this upcoming serve. Whether they can do it or not is another question. But they are taking the play
To their
the other
opponents.
team.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Let's see if it continues. Okay, let's see where she will stand on this return. Not as close as the other server. But she went for it.
yeah, she
How many times have you told yourself in a match, fortune favors the bold?
Oh
sir?
man, that's like I've got a tattoo that says "Fortune favors the bold."
Can I please not see it?
Block. Over there. Over there.
Go for it. There you go. Bingo.
And again, that ball wasn't hit exceptionally hard, but she took it relatively early.
Yep.
And really, again, time and distance has been stolen.
Yep.
That's a great overhead.
Wow. Experience is rearing its head.
Dr. Detroit, I got to give a shout out to Gene Kempner. He just texted to say, give you his best. He said, you're sounding like a true professional on the mic.
Gene Kempner, who when he decides not to miss a ball, will not miss a ball.
Yeah, he can go into lockdown mode, right?
And he and I won the 45s against Martin Sturgis and Fritz Odenbach after they had beaten Baird and Mayer in a 2.5-hour match. And they expected they were going to kill us. But Gene refused.
Gene,
And we beat him, straight sets.
Uncle Gino.
Hope you're doing well, Gene.
Boy, and here we go. Berens and Morgan are up 3-love.
Wow.
Fortune favors the bold.
Fortune favors the bold.
See, we've got a lot of life lessons here that we're giving, you know.
Yeah.
How do we fight off early onset or dementia? We
Yeah.
exercise, we socialize.
And the bigger question is, how do we actually listen to ourselves?
I don't know. I'm taking notes right now, so.
Morgan and Berens are in the zone.
They are. Yeah.
They are swimming downriver.
Oh, that was ambitious.
That would
Ambitious.
that would have been a killer. But starting to gamble. Ooh, smart.
The roller off both sides. Boy, and there's no panic there on that left court,
I don't
was
think
there?
Morgan and Berens have missed a shot in the last 3 games.
Yeah, they've been right on point. I'd say for the last set and a half, they've really done a great job of. I don't even want to say righting the ship, but just kind of settling into the match and doing what they do a lot tighter and better.
Very much so.
Oh, I jinxed her. We jinxed
No, we didn't.
Berens there.
No, we didn't. They don't. If I'm them, I'm talking to each other, saying, "Who cares? Let's go."
Yeah. Did you notice how Morgan's hands just so quiet on that volley, just absorbing all the pace?
I think they've gotten used to the pace. That's why I would have liked to have seen the Mihaljevic team stand closer on the return. Because Berens and Morgan have gotten comfortable. Ooh, bit wide, I think.
Yeah, we call that play running with scissors. They don't down the line overhead from off the net. It doesn't always go bad, but when it does.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh, my
what
God.
hands. Great get. Better hands from Morgan.
That was something.
Oh, she
missed it.
That was
Ooh.
you know what? Right shot, right time.
Yeah.
Res-
That.
It was the speed of Buiukian. She had to make it a little bit better.
Yep.
And back to Deuce.
She had to cut it a little too fine there. That is Deuce, yep.
Yeah, and here's a great, again, they take a little bit of time after that point.
She should be in 2 to 3 feet.
You'd like to see her step up even further.
Yep. That's out.
And we've seen 2 missed volleys in this game, one from Berens, one from Morgan, and on both of them, they were reaching. And I think that's kind of one thing that we want to avoid in this game is that reach, because it gets a little tougher. It's one thing if you're reaching because your partner's so far out of it, but I think on both of those missed volleys, maybe not the time to be reaching across the court. And
I think that is a good observation. But boy, did they just give away an easy one to Morgan and Berens.
yeah,
Just when there was a glimmer of hope. God. Oh. I'd say that was a good try. But
she just needs to let that ball get a little bit further in front of her. I think the contact point was a little bit late. She needed a little more patience and continue to move up into the court.
Hank Irvin would say, if you're going to miss over the net.
Yeah, you got to
Never
beat the net
miss
first.
in the net. But that's Hank Irvin.
That's akin to leaving a birdie putt short. It's got no chance.
Yep, never up, never in. Oh, man, this is huge. They're going for that crease.
Mihaljevic in that ad side, aren't they?
That
Great
was
point. Great
a
patience.
very great, smart point from Berens and Morgan.
And what I liked there too was they, even though they were hitting repeatedly hitting balls into that ad side, they kept changing speeds and spins.
They've been playing extremely smart paddle right now.
There's the Berens forehand stepping up early.
Because she's standing closer. Okay.
Berens, you got to be ready. You hit the heavy roller there.
She's coming after you.
You got to be ready for what comes next. She was either didn't expect it to come back that big or wasn't ready for it, but
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
30, love.
A glimmer. Stand in closer. She did, actually.
that
Did you see that?
I did.
Definitely. Yes.
She was two steps
Excuse me.
inside.
That was great. Wow.
30.
As Ted Lasso would say, it's time to be a goldfish. Just forget about it, right?
Love that Ted Lasso. Okay, she's in closer again. Just didn't catch her.
Okay.
Okay, well, they gave themselves some hope.
We've got a little
Yep.
4 games to 1.
All right.
Third set.
Serve and volley, by the way. Train in real game scenarios with serve and volley. The world's first responsive play drill. Volley's new AI-powered feature tracks your position, the ball, and returns every serve for targeted practice. Try it today on the Volley app. Wow, that sounds pretty cool.
yeah.
I need your cues, buddy.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, we've got Allison Morgan serving 4-1 in the third set here. Orchard Lake Country Club for the Detroit Invitational. Sydney Berens there on the left-hand side hitting the overheads. Mihaljevic, that's a mouthful. It's on the ad side, the blue vest. And her partner, Anya Buiukian, is in the deuce corner.
Yep. I'm telling you, if I were the coach of Mihajlovic's team, they ought to learn from this to stand in closer anyway
Take it up.
with
Yep.
their ground strokes.
I mean, I always say at minimum toes on the baseline there. You know, we've got just the threat. They can always drop off and play the ball off the screen, right?
I would say stand in 1.5 to 2 feet.
Okay. Off the return?
Yeah, because even if you don't get it, you don't get it. You probably can still get the ball. But especially if you're playing a team where the serves aren't that great. And I don't see anything great about these serves, no offense. I see something great about the players, but not necessarily the serves here.
30-15.
And I think that it's not that they can't. I think they choose to start the point and, pick up anything, pick up with the volley. And it just is a choice because they all, in their own rights, are great tennis players as well.
Well, I think you're right. It is a choice. But it's also not, when you only get one serve, as you well know, it's not easy to get a good serve in, especially under pressure. And again, I go back to affecting the point before it begins.
That was a great return. Buiukian there just took it early, right at the right hip of Berens.
Yep. This is a big, huge point. But that was close.
Mihaljevic. Berens Morgan leads 4-2. Third set.
Of the four players, Mihaljevic is the one that's, she's doing a little bit more with her serve, but I think her true potential is probably she's at about 30% of what. Oh, that's a great let cord. She didn't apologize either, Doctor.
Thank God for that. I love these people. Again, I don't understand why there isn't a fist celebration.
Yes.
Sometimes
High
you
five
can
with your
annoy your
partner.
opponent so much, you might get another free, easy point.
That's a great drop shot.
I love
She
it.
held
It
it.
was a jump
She
drop
held
shot.
it. Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
A jump drop shot.
Style points too. You get she should get a 1.5 for that.
I completely concur. Well, that's a good shot. But I'm not sure I agree with them not coming to net here.
You. You. Me. You. 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 I'm good. Block. Go. You. You, one. Me. You.
Oh, good idea.
Maybe a little too cute, maybe.
Yeah.
Try to cut that one a little thin. Drop it into a very small space.
Trying to be too cute is an art. It's a good return. Yeah.
Boy, they've got her in the spin cycle.
Not a good place to be.
But I love how she just aired out that lob and kind of gave herself a little bit more time.
Oh,
All to have that crease
40, 30.
winning overhead.
I think it came out of the screen funny, and she had to quickly go for it.
Oh,
No, long. Let's go.
Yes.
Berens and Morgan have gotten this game back to deuce.
No, Al. Great lob. Come on. Great lob.
Advantage, Miss Morgan.
Now stand in close. Stand halfway between the service and the baseline. Let her see you. Good cover.
Yeah, that's where Sydney did a much better job that time getting the feet underneath the volley rather than just reaching. She kind of moved
Yeah,
and kind of got the body in front of that volley a little bit more.
protecting her partner.
Boy, another great lesson there as you see how when that ball's in that ad side, Cindy is only looking for one overhead, and that's over her right shoulder,
That's right.
and then looking to be the drive stopper. Love the
Another
drop
good
shot.
drop shot.
Berens, Morgan. They lead 5 games to 3rd set.
She liked that one.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, that's the patented Morgan fist pump. You know, whether it's her husband or her, it
The family that fist bumps together
stays together. I like it.
stays together.
I think their daughter might be a fist pumper too. We're going to have to see if she's got as good of a fist pump as Adam or Allison.
Well, I think this is crunch time. And this girl serving? Well, who's serving?
Buiukian, I believe, is. Oh no, Sydney Berens is serving.
Okay.
They just broke Mihaljevic to
Okay.
take that 5-2 lead.
Okay, she's in a little closer. Mm-hmm. But she went back for it. No. Oh.
15 love.
Good lob. Look at this.
Oh, that's great transitional play. Little dink and then the blitz in behind it.
She missed that? No. Let's hit the line.
Love.
Boy, some nice defensive
If I were
overhead
Dandy
there.
Don Meredith, I might start singing a song.
Yeah. Boy, that and you notice when she's Buiukian is she's out of the frame. She probably should not be driving that ball, and we've seen two this game. You know, maybe the decision making was not the best on those last two missed drives.
Out. That's it.
Oh boy, and that takes us to game.
It was a great match.
It really was.
And I would think the Mihaljevic team is going to learn a lot from that match.
Yeah. And, you know, I think if you're watching at home, we will be back just after a few minutes. We'll have the next live stream from this court will be coming up shortly. But, Dr. Detroit.
And, Mike, it's been such a pleasure being with you.
And we will be back after for the next match.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.